All right, so we're continuing to look at the 6th grade pre-AP Chapter 9 test review. So this is the second half of that. I'm going to start with number 13. It says, identify the shape of each graph's data distribution as symmetrical, skewed left, skewed right, or non-symmetrical. All right, symmetrical means that if I divide the graph in half, that each side is like a mirror image of the other side. Skewed left, the way I remember skewed left and skewed right, it's kind of the opposite of how they sound. Skewed left means most of the data values are on the right. Skewed right means most of the data values are on the left. All right, so skewed left, if I look at this one, I can see that most of these values are actually on the right side. So this would tell me that it's skewed left. Here, if I divide the graph sort of in the middle, if I found my median right here, I can see that these two are symmetric, but this side is not symmetric to this. And I can't really say that there's a greater amount on this side, so I'm going to say that this is just non-symmetrical. This one, if I look at the middle and compare each half of the data, I can see these are exactly the same, so I would call that symmetrical. And here, if I found the middle of this data right here, I can see that I'm going to have a lot more over here. So I'm going to call this is the left side, so this would be skewed right. Number 14. The double box plot shows the average monthly high temperatures for Phoenix, Arizona, and Las Vegas, Nevada. Which of the following statements is not true? Las Vegas has the lowest average monthly high temperature. So if I look at Las Vegas, it has the lowest average. These are all high temperatures, but this one has the lowest high. All right, so because 57 is lower than 66. So this is true, and I'm looking for not true. The interquartile range of Las Vegas is greater than the interquartile range of Phoenix's temperatures. So Las Vegas is here. So that's the IQR is the difference between this and this. So 96.5 and 64.5 would be 32. And then if I found the interquartile range for Phoenix, 101 minus 72.5. I'm going to get 28.5. So it's saying that Las Vegas is greater than Phoenix. Okay, and that is what I found to be true as well. All right, the median of Las Vegas's temperature is lower. So Las Vegas has a median temperature that's lower than the median of Phoenix. So that's true. I can see that 79 is lower than 86. And then D says the range of Las Vegas temperatures, so that's high minus low, would be 104 minus 57. Oh, sorry, you can't see this. 104 minus 57 would be 47. And then if I do Phoenix, 106 minus 66, I get 40. So Las Vegas is less than Phoenix. So that's not true. So that's my answer. That's the one that doesn't work. All right, move on. Number 15, the circle graph shows favorite movie genres in Miss Rios' class. There are 20 students in Miss Rios' class. How many more students prefer action to science fiction? All right, so action was 29%. Science fiction was 14%. I want to know how many more. So if I do 29% minus 14%, then that gives me 15%. Okay, but I want to know how many students that is. So I'm going to set up a percent proportion. Okay, I know I'm looking for 15%, so that goes over my 100. It tells me there are 20 students in Mrs. Rios' class, so that's the whole, and I'm looking for the part. So I can multiply 15 times 20 and then divide by 100, or I'm also just finding 15% of 20 students, so the shortcut would be to change this to a decimal. So if I move this 2 places, I get 0.15, and then just multiply it times 20. So I'm going to do the shortcut. I've set up the proportion. If you want to solve it that way, go ahead. So 0, 10, And then I start with a 0, 0, 2. When I add those up, I get 3, and then there are 2 decimal places, so I'm going to move that over. So that tells me that there are 3 more students that prefer action to science fiction. Okay? You'll get the same answer with the proportion. It's just a little faster to do the shortcut. Number 16, the graph shows the favorite sports played by some middle school students. Which statement is supported by the information in the graph? So supported means I'm looking for something that's true. So fewer than 15% of the students chose swimming or ice hockey as their favorite sport. All right, so swimming and ice hockey. Swimming is the second one, so that would be 2. I'm just gonna, and this is 3. And then this is soccer, it's 5. And this is ice hockey, it's 1. And this is baseball, it's 4. Okay, all right, so fewer than 15% chose swimming would be 2. And ice hockey would be 1. So that's a total of 3 out of 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11, plus 4 is 15. So if I'm doing a percent, remember it's part to whole, so 3 to 15. I need to change that to percent. I can use my percent proportion, or I can use FDP, where I just change this fraction into a decimal. So it really doesn't matter how you do it. I guess I'll do the proportion this time. All right, so I'm going to do 3 times 100 is 300, and then divide by 15. I do that over here. So 15 won't go into 3, it'll go into 30 twice. And I'm going to bring down that 0, 15 will go into 0, 0 times. So that tells me it's 20%. So fewer than 15% of the students chose swimming or ice hockey as their favorite sport. Okay, I would say that's not true because 20% chose swimming or ice hockey. Right? B says less than 1/10 of the students chose football as their favorite sport. So if I look, football is this first column here. So 3 out of, again, it's a part to whole comparison. So 3 out of 15. That simplifies because I'm looking for a fraction. If I divide them both by 3, I'm going to get 1 out of 5. So less than 1/10 of the students chose football as their favorite sport. So what I really need to know is 1/5 less than 1/10? Okay, some of you will look at that and know right away that 1/5 is not less than 1/10. But if you're not sure, you can change these both to a percent or to a decimal and do it that way. So if I change 1/5, top and bottom out, into a percent, 5 will go into 10 2 times, or move it over, and that's 20%. So this is 20%. 1/10, if I change that into a into a percent, 10 won't go into 10. I'm trying to divide it into 1. So it'll go 1 time. If I move that over, I get 10%. So less than 10% of students chose football. Well, no, that's not true because 20% chose football. So it's not that one. Exactly 26% of students chose baseball as their favorite sport. So if I look at baseball, that's 4 out of 15. So I want to know, is that 26%? So I can divide like I did here. So if I do 15 into 4, 15 will go 2 times. That's 30. When I subtract, I'm going to get, oh, sorry, I didn't have to borrow, did I? It's 10. So bring down a 0. 15 will go into 10. Or I'm sorry, 100, 6 times, so that's 30, carry 3, that would be 6 plus 1 is 9, so that's 10, bring down another 0, that would be 6, okay, so I'm going to see that this is repeating, so exactly 26% of students chose baseball, well, 26.6% chose baseball, but I can't say exactly 26%, so I'm going to say that's a no for now. And then it says exactly 2/5 of the students chose soccer or ice hockey as their favorite sport. So if I look at soccer is 5 and ice hockey is 1, 5 plus 1 is 6, and compare that to the whole, which is 15. Since they have a fraction here, I'm going to make this a fraction, but I'm going to simplify it by 3. So that gives me 2/5. They say exactly 2/5. And that's exactly what I got. So I would say this is true. This is the best supported statement. All right, 17, a survey found out that 1 out of 6 least favorite chore is taking out the trash. I guess 1 out of 6 students' least favorite chore is taking out the trash. If there are 528 students at Tippett, what is a reasonable prediction of students whose least favorite chore would be taking out the trash? All right, so this is just a proportion problem. I know that 1 out of 6 don't like the trash. It's kind of a part to whole, part to whole. If there are 528 students at Tippett, that's the whole. I want to know what part don't like taking out the trash. All right, so to solve this, I multiply 1 times 528, which is 528, and then I divide by 6. 6 will go into 52 8 times. That's 48. 12 minus 8 is 4. Bring down the 8. 6 will go into 48 8 times. Okay, so 88 students. All right, number 18, the table shows the result of a survey at Scobie Middle School about students' favorite cookies. There are 424 students at Scobie Middle School. About how many can be expected to prefer chocolate chip cookies? All right, so I want to know how many out of 424. I can see 49 preferred it, but out of how many? So I need to find the whole for the survey. 9 plus 2 is 11, plus 8 is 19, plus 3 is 22. 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8, 82. So I'm going to compare 49 out of 82 to how many out of 424. All right, so if I solve this, I'm going to multiply 424 times 49. That would be 36. 18 plus 3 is 21. 4 times 9 is 36, plus 2 is 38. Start your second row with a 0. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 4 times 1 is 16. All right, so add those up. 6, 7, 17, 10, 20,776. And then I need to divide that by 82. All right, so 80 won't go into 2 or 20. It'll go into 207 twice. So that would be 164. It's going to give me 43. Bring down the 7. So 82 will go into 437. Let's see. 5 times. Yeah, 5 times. It's 10. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 1 is 41. Okay, and then I get 27. Bring down the 6. Okay, so 82 will go into 276. Let's say 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 8 is 24. So that would be 30. I'm going to add a decimal and keep going. So 82 will go into 300. 3 times again. Yeah. Okay. So it says about how many prefer chocolate chip cookies. So I'm going to stop there because I'm talking about just an estimation and round that to 253. So I would say about 253 students would prefer chocolate chip cookies. Since 3 is less than 5, I'm going to round down. Okay? All right. Number 19. To determine what grocery shoppers want, the manager randomly surveyed 25 shoppers in each of the 2 Georgetown HEBs. Out of 50 shoppers, 32% said they would like bigger grocery carts. How many shoppers said they would like bigger grocery carts? Okay, so what I'm trying to find is 32% of 50. Again, I can set up a proportion where 32 goes over 100 because it's the percent out of 50. That's the total people surveyed. This right here just tells me he asked 25 in each one, but that's a total of 50, so I don't really need that 25. And then I could just solve it. But since I'm finding 32% of 50, that's when I can use the shortcut. So I'm going to do that. 32%, change it to a decimal, is 0.32, and then multiply it times 50. So that's 0, 0. Start with a 0. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. When you add those up, and move your decimal over, you're going to get 16. So 16 shoppers. Again, you're going to get the same answer if you do it with the proportion. I'm just trying to save a little time. 20. A survey taken at a public library showed that 3 out of 8 people prefer romance novels. Predict how many out of the 432 library visitors would prefer romance novels. All right. So these prediction problems are most likely proportion. So 3 out of 8 is part out of whole. 432, that's my whole again. And so I'm finding what part of that, like romance novels. All right, so multiplying across 432 times 3 would be 1,296, and then dividing by 8. We'll go into 12 once. Bring down your 9. 8 will go into 49. 6 times would be 48. Subtract. Bring down your 6. 8 will go into 16 2 times. All right, so 16, or I'm sorry, that's not what it is. It's 162 people prefer romance. All right, 21. The circle graph shows the results of a survey of teens and where they would prefer to spend a family vacation. If 450 students took the survey, how many more students favored an amusement park over the beach? All right, so I'm comparing amusement park to beach. If I subtract those to find out how many more, I get 20%. These are both still percents. I'm looking for the number of people, so I need to change this percent into an amount of students. All right, so again, I can use the proportion for this. It's 20% out of 100%, and then I want to know how many people out of 450. Okay, so the proportion works on this one. So with the shortcut, again, it doesn't matter. You're going to get the same answer, so do whichever one you like the best. So 450, if I go ahead and do the proportion on this one, times 20, get 0, 0, 0, start with a 0, 0, 10, 9. It's 9,000 divided by 100. So it won't go into this. It'll go into 900 9 times. And then I still have a 0, so 90 times. All right, so I can say 90 more students preferred the amusement park over the beach. Okay, and my video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to stop it, and then I'm going to come back and finish the review. So see you in a minute.